Now that we know how data is actually stored in the database, let's now learn how to retrieve data or retrieve objects from that particular database. Now in Django, there's actually a method which allows you to retrieve data from the database, and in Django we retrieve data from a database using something which is called as a query set. Now what exactly is a query set? A query set is nothing but it's actually a collection of objects stored into your database. Now to retrieve these objects from a database, you need to construct a query set using something which is called as a manager. Now what exactly is a manager? And a manager is nothing but it's something which every model which you create has. So here is our model, and every model has at least one manager, and that default manager is called as objects. Now if this sounds a little bit confusing, then let's actually go ahead and see how exactly a query set works by taking an example. So in the previous lecture we had created the item table. We have added some data in the item table as well. So let's now learn how we can retrieve data from that item table. So this was our item table right here, or the item model we can say. So now let's say you want to get the data which is stored into this particular item table or item model. So how exactly can you do that? So in order to extract those objects or retrieve those objects from the item, you actually need a query set. And a query set is nothing but it's a collection of objects stored into your database, and whenever you want to get a query set, you actually need a manager. So here first we have the model, and our model here is nothing but item. Then we have the manager, and as I earlier mentioned, each model has at least one manager, and that manager is called as objects. Now once we have the item and once we have the objects, we actually have an entire query set with us. Along with this, we also need something which is a method to actually get all the objects associated with that particular model, and that method is nothing but the all method. So combining all these three things together, we can actually form a query over here which is going to extract the data from the database, and that query is nothing but item.objects.all. So here item is a model, objects is actually the manager of the model which is item, and then we have this all method which actually makes sure that we get all the objects stored in that particular database table. So this is how querying a database or querying a model in Django actually works. So in the next lecture we will go ahead and take a real life example to understand how to retrieve objects from a database. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.